Black Clover has finally reintroduced Asta back into battle. Things are about to turn up to 1000. If you could absolutely annihilate that like button, I'd greatly appreciate that. But without further ado, let's get into the video. Now, this chapter starts off with Lily being confused about the fact that Asta is here. So she didn't even know that he was there. Huh? When she used her spatial magic on him, I'm guessing she probably just rolling the wheel on where it'll be. Straight up blindfolded, like, oh, anywhere he goes, it doesn't matter. And we see him and Libe here, and they're analyzing the opponent. They've already figured out that the boogeyman is their magic. They were pretty quick to figure out that the hallucination was a relative of Ichika's. Granted, he looks a lot like Yami, so, I mean, that's pretty much a given. But they already know something is off because Asta points out that if it was a head-to-head fight, Ichika would not have been cornered like that. They over there tampering with the mind using those tricks. But if it was a straight up battle, things would have turned out different.
Nobody gave me the faith of a one-on-one. Nobody gave me the respect of a one-on-one.
And then Yoro's over here trying to ridicule Ichika, talking about the human heart is weak. You're over here shaking, trembling, and you can't even pull up any moves. And you're supposed to be the strongest in this country? Thinking it was such a pathetic display and not cool at all. And Ichika was just speechless because it's like, she can't even disagree because it really did happen. And they point out that all humans fear something, no matter who they are, even Asta as well, as they try to conjure up something that he'll fear. And out comes a hallucination of himself saying, I can't become the Wizard King. And not gonna lie, this kind of makes sense actually. It does seem as though Asta's kind of like the fearless type. And if there's anything that he would fear, it would be like him not becoming Wizard King, because that's like all he thinks about. I'm gonna get an explanation here as he points out that he's not gifted, which is true. Like, he kind of came from nothing, and he says that he's afraid of being weak, and he straight up eliminates the boogeyman immediately. He just slices it in half and it's just gone like that. So I'm guessing since he recognizes that weakness and that fear, it doesn't really faze him as he finally cuts down his weakness. And Ichika's just speechless because she's like, wow, that thing had me out for the count and he just takes it out like that? Come on now, I'm part of the reuse and I can't be slacking. I'm over here getting outdone by the runner-ups. And as I suspected, Meshuga enters into the scene and he points out that Asta figured it out during the training, because as we remember, Meshuga was the main one to have to get into his head and tell him like, yo, I'm the strongest here and you're keeping up with me, even though you're getting help, but still, you are a formidable person. You gotta have a little bit more confidence than that. And as we see here, Asta kind of doubles down on his insecurities of not being gifted and having to work for everything he has, pretty much coming from the bottom of the bottom. And he was in his bag right here, as he says, and because I'm not gifted, I can't afford to be lost. I don't have the luxury of fear, only the duty of becoming strong, winning, protecting, saving. That boy was spitting right there. Okay.
That's what I'm talking about! That's why he's the GOAT! The GOAT!
No excuses, just straight grind, which is of course just like Asta, because even way before he even got his grimoire, he was just working out to try and be strong. Didn't have any magic, he was just grinding, getting his body right. As he says, I resolved to become the strongest. And of course that's because he wants to become the Wizard King, and the Wizard King is, you know, portrayed as the strongest. And Yoro here gets ready to attack and goes into his beast form. The predator in front of him brought out his primal instinct. He's all growling and stuff. That boy then turned feral. He uses beast magic, holy hunting, and he's just straight sprinting and dashing around the battlefield. As it says, you're only human, you can't stand against Lucius Sama's paladins. But I guess he must not know that Asta was training in Zetsun. So Asta's not even in phase, he's just taking a deep breath, getting ready to pull out an attack. As he says, thanks to my training with the Ryuzen 7, and we get a little flashback there. But your rule here is all like, the instant I land a single hit, you're dead.
I smell cap.
He's thinking he's gonna be able to one-shot Asta like they did with the Ryuzen. Of course, that was a combined attack, but it's really underestimating him. And what's crazy here is he's going in for his attack, but Asta pulls a Saitama here. He's trying to go for that blind spot, but Asta, as you can see, at the peripheral of his vision, can actually see him coming. And he straight owns him with the Zetsun attack.
Damn!
So yep, as we expected, the training has finally paid off. It's funny because Yoro's all like, oh, all it takes is one hit and you're gonna be out for the count. But Asta just ends up one-shotting him instead. Now what's interesting here is Asta didn't actually just incapacitate him. He actually nullified the Paladin transformation. As it's stated here, the enemy's Yoryoku changed. No, it returned to normal. His Paladin power was cut off or something like that. And of course, we know Lucius uses soul magic to alter them and turn them into Paladins, of course. So if anti-magic is used, that actually could reverse that. which makes sense because, I mean, using anti-magic, he was able to nullify the elf reincarnation way back in the elf arc, and that was an alteration of the soul, of course. And this is pretty much the same. And Meshuggah here gives him his flowers. He's saying the fool was just worrying too much is all. It don't matter what kind of magic you got or how great it is, as long as he can see through it at the moment, anti-magic will destroy it without a doubt. As he states, his anti-magic Zeton wins any face-off. It is the strongest counter. And this is coming from the strongest member of the Ryuzen, mind you.
I'm better. I am better.
So yeah, that without a shadow of a doubt confirms that Asta has gained a lot of power. Now, I don't know like what the exact time frame for that was, because it seemed pretty quick, but I mean, considering Asta already knew how to gauge ki, I guess that's why he learned it so fast, but still, that's quite the power up for just a short amount of training. And just like that, he's back on the battlefield one-shotting people, so gee. And we get the last chapter here as Asta says, "Sister, I'll save you right now." And what's interesting here is Lily's face looks so worried. It seems as though she really doesn't want to fight Asta, or that she was hoping he'd be off in a distance somewhere lost or whatever. I wonder if we'll get some insight to that. Maybe the soul magic is wearing off, or it's tampered in some way. The real Lily is in there somewhere, we know that. Well, if you made it this far, I appreciate you sticking around. If you could use your Zeton on that like button, I'd greatly appreciate that. Consider subscribing as well, you'll like it here, I promise. I'll see you in the next one. Thank you for watching.